Welcome to Reddit Blue Pill Red Pill, where we go over Reddit stories and predict the outcome of the stories. Please listen and play along by typing in your choices into the comments. There are 5 seconds to answer, or you can pause the video. Today we have a story about a wife who found out her husband has a secret. All right, let's get on to the story.
My husband and I, both 32, have been together since we were 19. Our entire relationship feels like it just blew up in my face, basically, and I can't tell if I'm overreacting. So we both wanted one child, and we have planned this for years. We wanted everything perfect first: the home, the careers, the savings, the investments, the nest egg, etc. Because we both knew from very early on that once we had a baby, I would be staying home full-time and raising our child. His brother's life was unfortunately cut short by a daycare worker when he was just 5 months old, back in 2017. So daycare wasn't an option, basically, and we need to make sure our ducks were in a row so I could stay home and be a full-time parent.
The OP and her husband have been together since they were 19 and have done all the necessary things to provide stability for their future child. They were both 32, so this process has taken over a decade. Part of why things took so long was because the OP's husband lost a brother when he was young due to the negligence of a daycare worker, and he now insists that his future child will be taken care of by them personally. While the story is sad and the husband's fear is understandable, people leave their kids at daycares all the time with no major issues. We don't know the exact circumstances of how the husband's younger brother died, but if it was negligence or an accident, those things can happen at home too. How many parents fall asleep without meaning to, or leave a door open by mistake, or whatever millions of other things that can occur to even the most well-intentioned people? While his fear is justified on an emotional level, is it fair for him to demand the OP to give up her career because of this phobia? What do you think? Do you think the husband has an irrational fear of daycare workers? If so, type Q1 blue in the comments. If you feel the husband is justified in his insistence of not placing their future child in daycare, type Q1 red.
2 years ago, we were sitting on $500,000 in investments, a few nest eggs, and different types of savings and bonds accounts. We bought the house. We even bought a damn boat. Everything we planned for fell into place, finally, and we started trying for a baby. We now have a perfect 4-week-old daughter. I have been out of work since I was 5 months pregnant due to placenta abruption, but otherwise, everything went fine. She's perfectly healthy, was a good weight, and I bounced back from the delivery fairly quickly because of how much of a support system my husband was. He did more than his fair share while still working full-time, which is partially why I cannot tell if I am being dramatic or if this is hormones or postpartum depression or whatever. Like, I am legitimately livid.
The couple currently have a 4-week-old baby, so all their efforts paid off. The baby is healthy, the OP only had minor issues with the birth, and they have the nest egg necessary for the husband to be the only breadwinner while the OP takes care of their baby personally. But the OP states that she has found out something that has made her livid and has made her question reality. By her own admission, her husband stepped up and went above and beyond for her and their child. So what could be the issue? The suspense is killing me. What do you think could be that made the OP so livid? Type Q2 blue if you think her husband is having an affair. Type Q2 red if her husband is hiding a secret stash of money. And type Q2 black if her husband lied about the story of his dead brother.
So basically, earlier this afternoon, I get a phone call from DHHS to go over health insurance options and whether or not the baby is eligible for state insurance based off our income. I had already given DHHS all of our info, social security numbers, DOB, etc., when they called yesterday and was just waiting for all our info and assets to be pulled. Anyways, she calls and says we aren't eligible because my husband makes too much money and that we will need to add her to our private insurance. Absolutely no problem at all. I kind of figured that anyways. But then she offhandedly mentions that my husband is making $10,920 monthly gross and that the cutoff for state insurance is $7,830 monthly gross. Well, here's the issue. For months, my husband has been telling me that he only makes $6K a month after taxes. So I get off the phone and I log into my husband's computer and into his banking, and sure enough, his monthly take-home is bordering around $8,500. He's transferring everything over 6K into an account I didn't even know existed. So I call him out on it, and he breaks down and tells me that he just wanted something that was only his. Please keep in mind that all of my money has always gone into our joint account that he uses on a daily basis. So he is hiding money from me so he can have his own money while plugging away at mine. Over 45K he has sitting in that account, while telling me last week that we couldn't have steak for dinner because spending $38 on 2 steaks was a waste of money.
Okay, so the husband hid a secret stash of money from the OP for some unknown reason. The husband has not given a reason why he did this other than he wanted to have his own money, but that is not a luxury he afforded to the OP. The OP had her full job earnings transferred to their joint bank account, so she is all in. Maybe the husband wanted to have extra savings in case of emergencies, which makes sense, but it doesn't explain why he felt he had to hide it. Do you believe that the husband just wanted to save some money for himself, or does he have a reason why he needs this extra money? What do you think? If you think the husband just wanted to save with no ulterior motive, type Q3 blue in the comments. If you think the husband has a hidden ulterior motive for saving money, type Q3 red.
So I told him I am putting the baby in daycare and going back to work, because obviously I need to safeguard myself if he is hiding away money. Something feels off about it. I don't know. He instantly started crying, see above, daycare trauma, but I truly just don't trust him financially anymore. I no longer feel secure here. I said I changed my mind and I don't care if he cries about it. Am I the a-hole?
The OP is justifiably upset and paranoid of her husband. Why would he hide money from her as if he is keeping a dark secret? Even if there was no nefarious reason why he wanted to save some money for himself, the OP has lost trust in him and she will not allow herself to be at his mercy and wants to return to work. The husband is upset for this because of his childhood trauma, but what does he expect if he has made the OP lose all trust in him? Or is the OP going too far by going back on her promise to be a stay-at-home mom for their child? The OP didn't see anything nefarious that he is spending the money on. He is simply placing it into a side account and letting it accumulate. Plus, it is him money, not her money. If they all pay for everything evenly, and the husband isn't even now paying 100% of all the bills since the OP has left her job, doesn't that more than make up for this tiny discrepancy? We have come to the conclusion of the story and must decide who is the a-hole. If you think the OP is the a-hole for going back on her promise to not take their baby to daycare, type Q4 blue in the comments. If you think the husband is the a-hole for breaking the OP's trust and hiding money from her, type Q4 red. Now let's listen to a few comments.
Not the a-hole. He doesn't get to have secret financial security set up in case you split up while preventing you from doing the same. He can either dump that 45K into the shared account and give you access to make sure that doesn't happen again, or he gets to realize that he is the reason his baby is in daycare.
Yeah, but who knows what else he's hiding? Once trust is gone, it's hard to move forward.
Not the a-hole. It appears to me that he has already gone back on your agreement by deceiving you about his finances. If he wanted something that was his, you could have agreed to have separate personal accounts as well as joint accounts that fund your regular expenses. Why didn't it occur to him that you might want something that was just yours? I wouldn't trust him either. With that kind of money, if he doesn't want your child in daycare, perhaps he should pay out of his funds that he has been hiding whatever the extra would be for a nanny.
If he doesn't want the kid in daycare, $45K is a good start on a nanny.
Not the a-hole for sure. This is a completely reasonable response, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you if this shook the foundation enough to consider divorce. It's wild work to take away your independent financial stability and then handicap you on top of that by lying about his income. Also, WTF was he going to do with 45K plus that he thought you wouldn't notice? Buy another boat and hide it? Come home with a Zoom Zoom car and claim it was a freebie? The implications of this go much deeper than just him lying about his income and hiding money from you. ETA, don't let him or anyone else, including yourself, try to gaslight you into thinking this is just because of hormones. It would have taken him at least 18 months to save 45K by hiding that 2.5K from OP every month in his secret account. This started before she got pregnant and a year before she left her job. He started hiding money from her while she still had her own income that she was sharing with him. That's telling. There's no way I'd give up my career if I was OP. She's going to need her financial independence because who knows what he's up to.
Not the a-hole. Yeah, there are some red flags here, and you should definitely start looking out for yourself. To be honest, it would be a miracle if they make it through this. That doubt will always be in OP's head, and if the husband still has the paranoia about daycare and y'all choose to put him there, that won't end well. If he's the one that stays home, resentment will most likely start on his part. Best course of action would most likely be therapy, and he stays home for a bit to watch the kid. I doubt he'd cave and do it, though. Personally, I'd tell him split the savings and y'all both start your own account and revisit how finances are done, at least for the time being. However, you do need to put money in a separate account for yourself ASAP.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching all the way to the end and participating. Please consider liking and subscribing to watch future videos. Goodbye.